Hello everybody, Gingershadow here, and welcome back to some more Pixelmon with me, Badum Badum. I just realized that bit's still on. Yeah, Pixelmon has that thing where if I turn that off and then I don't know, open that up or something, it just seems to turn back. I don't know, it just seems to turn itself back on. Whatever, doesn't matter, we started now and I'm not redoing it. So, Badu, we're back, we're here, we're still alone. That's to be expected, to be fair. I'll probably be doing a bunch of these by myself, just randomly playing, because I like playing Pixelmon wherever any opportunity I get. I see an Eevee on the map! Hold on! Wait a minute. Oh, thank God I've got balls. For a second, I was just thinking, wait a minute, I used all my balls last time trying to catch a freaking mushroom. No, thankfully, did go buy more. Cool. Alright, we're grabbing this Eevee then. Right, yeah, so, things. Yeah, I've been playing on my own, just randomly, and when I can play with people, I'll play with people. I will obviously prefer to play with people if I can get the opportunity, but Demon's been busy. Oh, I don't know with what, but he's been busy with the IRL stuff. And then everyone else is pretty much just, they're free to come on whenever they want, and they do mention the group chat when they're going to be free, blah, blah, blah. It's just a case that people are free at different times, and it seems like people are making, rather than someone just streaming whenever they're, like, you know, free, they're pretty much all trying to line up their time, so we get a bigger group thing together, which is fun, so I don't blame them, so yeah. But yes, just whenever people are free, they'll be free, and we'll get to play more and continue on the story stuff. It just means that it's gonna be very regular episodes, this. Unless I'm by myself, then we make it regular episodes, but that'll be because I'm by myself doing stuff, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're gonna come on and play, do some bits, catch some mons, raise some things, not progress some of the stuff I want to wait for other people for, but, you know, we can do some other bits of fun. And obviously I get to rant about D&D, because I did that last time and people seem to like it. Ah, got it. Huzzah. Badum. Eevee. How are you looking? Run away. Speed boosting, special defense down. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Ratcades. I had one job for you, and it was run away. I kept you on the team for that one job. Your services are no longer required. Also, if I just generally get stronger mons, I won't need the services either, but whatever. Actually, wait, I could get a hold of the fluffy tail item. Or, like, the smoke bomb. I could just use that, couldn't I? Where'd I get those items? Because I want to evolve this Eevee, I don't want to keep it an Eevee. Or do I want to keep it an Eevee? Do I keep it an Eevee just so I can show it off to Rin and everyone? Or do I like, there's the thought. What do I do? Okay, on the Pixelmon website, Eevee has a 50% chance of dropping the fluffy tail, along with Apon, Skitty, Delcatty, Ambipon, and Meowstic. Cool, and the smoke bomb, if I can find it. It's just a list of all the items. It's pretty cool because it's a very long page. There's a ton of things, but yeah. Oh, the boss, something's getting to us, and then find the right bit, and bump it down. I feel like I've gotten smoke bombs before. It's a pretty common thing. I just don't know where. Oh, wait, it's not a smoke bomb, it's a smoke ball. Okay, coughing, Miss Magius, Stunky, and Stunk Tank. Okay, so yeah, the swamp then. Yeah, let's go to the swamp then. Let's just go to the swamp and get something there. That'll work. I'll do that. Yeah, because I've got a swamp literally right over there with a ghost tower. So one of the reasons why I picked this area. This area is quite good because it's got a Pokemon Center nearish by. Like, not super nearby, but, you know, nearish by. It's got a nice little plains biome, nice little forest bit that you can get Eevees in. It's got a mountains, which is one of my favorite biomes to go to. And it's got a swamp with a ghost tower, which... Just in a set... Wait, is that a ghost tower? Wait a minute. Oh, no, wait, that's a graveyard. Oh, wait, there's a ghost tower. I was about to say, I swear there's a ghost tower somewhere here. Yeah, there is. It's just a bit further away. But hey, anyway, D&D. Because if we're going to rant about it, So, yeah, I go to every Monday. Obviously, last time I ranted about it, and because we've been there for a number of weeks, and stuff was happening, and essentially, I think it all wrapped up with one of our characters dying due to, like, basically an insta-kill attack from zombies. And so this is the Fallout week after that. Because basically we got hit with a horde of like 8,000 zombies, which on itself is a terrifying thing for like a D&D perspective, but like at the same time, it could have been interesting. We could have had fun with it. We could have had the Grimer. No, if we're gonna engage in battle, it's gonna be because I engaged you in battle, not the other way around, you fecker. But yeah, so essentially, rather than the DM just, you know, planning out how we're gonna operate fighting against this giant horde with realistically no chance of taking a straight fight. Yeah, we tried to be clever about it. We tried to plan around the aspect that there was lots of them, so we created things to slow them down. And, you know, I even came up with a thing of, like, setting up chunk of road on fire, and then due to that world logic, I knew that I could pass fire onto the clothes because he had me do it to the fighter previously when I threw a torch near him and it hit him apparently and set him on fire with splits straight away. That was a whole fiasco. It's a whole fiasco that I remembered, realised it was a feature, and decided to use against him. Completely irrelevant though, because he didn't take into consideration like the fire. He said, "Oh yeah, learn fire. Oh yeah, like hundreds of them learn fire. It's spreading. Are a bunch of them dying? Oh yeah, they're dying. It's just that many of them. It's not making a difference." I'm like, sure. Basically, my thought process had been use that fire, chip them down, weaken them. That way, when they got close to us, the guards that we'd managed to recruit and stuff, you know, we'd be able to take them out. That was all well good thought process, but the DM wasn't having it because he basically decided to treat the 8,000 zombies as one giant entity rather than, you know, a load of individual entities. Rather than just thinking like, okay, fair enough, it'd be a pain in the backside to like, you know, navigate with and stuff because there'll be lots of them. But, you know, putting tokens down just to, basically just us picking them off bit by bit to try and keep force them back and buy time into that. Nah, I was having none of that. It was extending them forwards more quickly than they should have been able to get to on the basis of they could push and It was a whole thing. I think I went over a lot of it last time. But basically it culminated the end with them getting essentially they got near the barrier. Wait, what is this? Oh. I was wondering what the feck that was. I have no way to defeat you. Feck. Wait a minute. Do I have any way to defeat you? I suppose one of you knows Endeavor, do you? Do you know Endeavor? Hold on. Formulating a plan here. wait, hold on. I have something that can work here. Wait, Absol, stay right there. I've got a plan. I've got kind of a plan. This might all be for naught, but that thing has Endeavor. Yeah. Okay. And these things have all got a fix for things like that. So they could potentially do damage. Potentially. I should have a runaway creature, probably. It probably won't matter. I'm just trying to think here. Who can I mess them up with? If the thing has magic bounce, I can't use, like, attacks that will affect it, because it'll just come back at me. But, you know, technically, if I can get it with, like, certain things, I can... I'm gonna have a go at this. It's sitting there. I might as well try. Oh, how horribly this is going to go. Right, go, Paris! Level 64, excellent. Right, okay, so I want to do Sunspore. I used knockoff. Effect Spore worked! I got paralysis! Oh! That's exactly what I hoped for! Feck! Now what? I don't know how, This is the problem, because I can't lower its accuracy, and it's going to one-hit me. Like that. Oh, this is problematic. I might as well just go for chip down. I might as well just go for Endeavor. If it works, it works. Or I can go for Air Slash, but... Yeah, no, it's quicker damage, so it doesn't matter. That did good. That did alright damage. That did something. That was... Yeah, okay, I mean, I was like this. Use Intimidate. Oh, wait a minute. Oh! I should be making use of that. Hold on. Just to check. This is a sand attack. Well, I'm not going to get to check the sand attack. Sand attack did not happen. Yeah, I should be switching him back in a knot, because I can use Intimidate. And, yeah, that actually works. Okay, now it's never. It said 3 Intimidates off on it. Endeavor. It got paralyzed. Perfect. That puts itself down to 16. That's still quite a lot. Okay, that's unfortunate. Well, in that case, max Airstream. And just pray. It got paralyzed again. Okay, that did not do enough. But I know its speed. Got paralyzed again. Wait a minute. Do I know its speed? I'm gonna Tubus. I know its speed. Live this one hit. Never mind. Fuck. Oh, so close to making that plan work. Oh, well, that's a shame. Yeah, I don't mind strong enough to actually take that monster on. I'd love to get that, though. Mega Absol's so cool, but... Oh, it's just not meant to be, I'm afraid. I'll come back another day, hopefully, for it. Oh, you, on the other hand, I can murder. But yeah, anyway, blah, blah, blah. D&D! Fighter gets attacked, he gets grappled, which he feels, and he gets bit on the one go. So basically, they took the one action to attack, and they hit with like a 26, because apparently we're getting horde tactics and horde boosts and a bunch of stuff. Okay, whatever. They did absurd amounts of damage, Then they get to grapple for free with that. Okay, so I thought that was where it was going to end, though. I thought, okay, they're getting a grapple, that way he's going to have to, like, try and fight to get out for the next turn, otherwise there could be danger, and that would also give the rest of the party a chance to try and help him and free him. No, because the instantly, as soon as he got dragged down, got just a free bit. And there was no saving throw. There was no attack roll with that one. It was just, and you feel a crunch. You take like 2 points of damage or whatever. And it's like, and you've been bitten. We're like, oh. Then I assume, oh, it's a disease. I can use lesser restoration to cure it. Mainly because he also went and mentioned before the thing of like, you've watched zombie movies, right? Like, you know how zombies spread through getting bit? Like, that's going to be what they're like here. And I'm like, oh. I'm like to everyone, well, I've got lesser restoration. That gives us a couple of free, if we do get bit, we can hopefully get out of it. No, the DM was not so kind. That is not how it went. But yeah, after getting bit, though, there was no saving throw, no nothing. Just the fighter, after one round, because he didn't chop the limb off, I was done. I'm going to be honest, if he lost his limb and tried to continue the campaign, he'd be as good as dead anyway, because this world is incredibly brutal. But yeah, so we started off at that point. We abandoned ship, basically, at that point, because we were losing. So we started running away and trying to figure out a tactic of what can we do to basically slow them down while retreating back to our bridge. Okay. During which time, right, the session ends. Okay, fair enough, but time's up. Move on to the next day. So, as we were leaving, one of our companions essentially had spent the last couple of turns getting ready to leave. Because they couldn't do anything in combat, because they were a monk, they were close range fighting, and they were not getting to the zombies. Okay, so they started prepping the cart, getting the horse ready, They did an animal handling check, and left. Starting the next session, do an animal handling check. Didn't we do one last time? Doesn't matter, do one. Okay, he does one, he gets a 3. Horses start jittering about, rocking back, whatever, I forget his exact wording. And the wheel falls off your carriage, and it tips. Oh, and just before that, the fighter woke up as a zombie. And he's attacking there was only one other party member in the carriage so far, because the rest of us were running beside it, because we were in a hurry. And, yeah. Without any type of roll to notice the fighter, or anything, just, he's gotten up, and he gets a free attack at what was basically a sorceress in the room. Oh, that's problematic. He rolled terrible, and didn't manage to hit, so that was small mercy. But yeah, it's like, that's an insta-kill thing. If he hits you, that's insta-kill. That's, like, the feck. Dude, like, really? Like, you want to kill more of his? Really? Yeah, I think he did. That seems very much like what he was trying to do. But yeah, so the cart tips. The zombie guy is now out. He then turns it into basically, he's kind of like a super zombie fighting against us. So essentially, it's got the fighter's physical properties from when he was alive, but he's got a zombie's mental properties. And to be fair, he wasn't going to do that. He was going to give him just the pure fighter properties. And I'm like, wouldn't it make more sense for him to have the zombie mental stuff and just have, like, the fighter physical stuff? To which the DM agreed, okay, yeah, that's fair. And I'm like, thank God. Because, I mean, the fighter's not busted or anything, but, you know, zombies are idiots and stuff. They get slightly worse mental stats than what the average person would normally have. So I'm like, yeah, no, please. Some kind of mercy here. But then he gets the zombie ability and stuff. Now, the next debate started here with me arguing with him because the fighter, after one round, collapsed. And at which point we picked him up and carried him. And after that point, we found out, yeah, okay, he's bitten, the rest of the restoration had no effect and stuff. We went away in the car, and the DM tells us, oh, you've traveled, it had been 15 minutes. So, like, wait, during that 15 minutes, we didn't tie him up or anything. No, we didn't get a choice of anything we could do during that time. Okay, I didn't argue with that point, though. I argued with the fact that once he was up, we wanted to attack him. And I'm like, okay, well, he's now just a zombie. He's wearing chainmail. That's annoying. But he's not got his sword and shield anymore. To which the DM says, oh, no, he has his shield. And I'm like, how? He collapsed. He dropped it. We didn't mention we pick up, and you are very, very critical about us not mentioning things. And I remember we didn't mention it because I remember fecking everything when it comes to that thing. Like, the actual stuff we do, I remember that stuff. I have to. If I don't, the DM pulls crap like this. And essentially, the DM said, no, because our good fighter friend here always tries to have a shield on. He would have it strapped onto his arm. And I'm like, no, he didn't. It's like, they're not always strapped on. We did a fight with Direwolves where you literally had them take it off his back and it get knocked away, and we did a whole process of him picking it back up. That's not how it works. It's like, okay, everyone close your eyes and raise your hand. Who thinks the fighter would have his shield? To which most of the party put their hands up because, like, he would. But I'm like, no, that doesn't logically make sense. And one of the other players, one of the ones that butts heads with me quite a lot, said, look, it's the DM's game, and he decides it's what makes sense. Like, it's his game, how can it not make sense? And I'm like, just because it's his game doesn't mean that doesn't mean he can do whatever he wants. And it automatically makes sense. You have to make it make sense. The fighter collapsed, and he dropped his stuff. and we didn't pick it up, so he'd have no shield. And I know he didn't have it strapped on because he wasn't wielding sword and shield at the start of the fight. He was wielding a crossbow. He dropped the crossbow, very quickly putting on... Well, he didn't drop it. He put it onto his, like, a side belt thing, like, very quickly. To which the DM made a point of mentioning the fact that it's on there very, very, like, poorly, and it's got an arrow currently put in, so that might come back to bite you. AK was going to make it shoot off and hit the fighter at some point, because obviously it was. Okay, whatever. But yeah, basically made a point of how he drew his sword and shield and then went into the fight. So it's like, well, he clearly didn't take the time to, like, strap the shield on so it was, like, tied onto his arm and he couldn't drop it. For one, you're never that nice. Basically, the DM likes to take whatever action he thinks will causes the most difficulty. That is the road we're taking, pretty much, and it's very annoying. But yeah, in the end, I did not win out. In the end, he decided not the fighter's got his shield, and thus the fight was even harder because of that. None of us got bit, though, so we're very lucky. But it's one of those ones of, that could have just killed more characters right there. And that would have been it. Like, and the DM is completely okay with that, because what I've learned about this DM is, he hates PvP. He hates us doing combat. And he'll do whatever he can to ensure we don't want to do it by making fights really horrible. Because he prefers it when we just sit and roleplay things and don't do combat. And it's like, yeah, I've noticed this more and more as I've played, because we've done one-shots where that DM took part as a player. Also, I'm getting wiped here by this chandelier. Fair enough, I can just go back to Pokemon Center. That's unfortunate. But yeah, we took part in other 2 one-offs with a DM as a player. During those 2 one-offs, I've now thinking that I've noticed, oh yeah, he just hates combat, but he'll do anything to avoid it. Holy feck. Because on the first one, he was a Goliath, a level higher than everyone else. He made himself basically the main character, because he basically decided, well, he's good at role-playing and that he will be the one talking and doing this and doing that. And the DM mostly listened to him and acknowledged him a lot more than the other players, and I went and ignored at points and blah, blah, blah. It was annoying, but it was also early on in the thick week, so I didn't really take too much to do with it. I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah. During one of the points, we didn't even get into combat in the session, but the Goliath made a point of oiling himself up with the intention of putting himself on fire. And I'm like, why would you do that? What's the point in that? And it's like, well, think about it. I'll get an advantage on intimidation checks if I'm on fire. And I'm like, so you literally damage yourself before a fight to intimidate the opponents? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really think much of it at the time. But he did that so he could avoid combat by intimidating the foes and making them run away. Okay, other time, he was a player. He went a bard. We went into combat with 2 goblins, and rather than taking any type of effort to attack them, he disguised himself as a goblin, used, I think it was comprehend language, I don't know, we were level 1, so I don't know if that was a spell he had, but he tried to use a spell to understand the goblin language, but he couldn't speak it, so he just pretended and panicked. So he acted like a panicked goblin to try and pretend he was one of them. Which seemed a bit silly, because there was only 2 of them and we were going to kill them. But okay. That spell lasted until we went to the next room, where there was an orc that was in charge of them. An orc sorcerer, I learned, who was at least 3rd level and could cast 2nd level magic and kill players outright, if he got a good roll. Okay. What does the bard do? He goes in the room, pretend to be panicked. I'm like, okay, we can use this. He didn't plan for, like, to use this, but I said, okay, well, as if he approaches our goblin companion, our goblin, unquote, quote unquote, because like, obviously he was actually a bard. I think it was a dwarf bard. But, yeah, okay, if he approaches, I'll ready an attack and attack him, because I was a rogue in that. And no, he never approached, because it turns out he was a magic user, which we didn't know. So he threw a firebomb. Or not fireball, a firebolt, sorry. Not fireball. Fireball would have killed us all. Okay, so he gets hit by the firebolt and plays dead. I'm like, okay, so he's going to try and attack the person after. He in fact did not do that. He lay on the ground the entire fight, playing dead. Fun fact, my character got hit by 1 spell, because we're level 1, and I only had 8 health, took 8 damage, and fell over unconscious. Now, before we went off on this mission, I had made a point of checking in town, is there any way we could get any type of healing item? Oh, he basically laughed at the idea we could get a healing potion in a little side of town. I'm like, okay. Is there a healer's kit anywhere? They're like 5 gold and just basic things to stabilize people. Oh, no, this town's way out in the sticks. They're not going to have anything like that. And it's like, they had doctors. You made a point of mentioning having the doctors with, like, all these chemicals and stuff like that to heal folk. But they have a fucking healer's kit. Okay, like, this is his first time DMing or something, but, like, he was an older player that played a lot. That was a whole different thing. That's the player I butt heads with the most, though. Like, the DM and the one player I butt heads with the most because he's older, more experienced. He basically wants to be the leader of the group. And everyone listened to him. And he's the one I ended up arguing with about my plan last week to set the zombies on fire, which I ended up being right, but it didn't really matter in the end. But yeah, okay, so we had nothing. So someone would have to do a medicine check to keep me alive. No one did a medicine check. The rest of them kept fighting the boss, because I'm guessing that their plan was take out the boss, you know, before thingy. They could do anything else. Didn't really matter, though. Didn't help. They did not take him out within 3 turns, so I died. The entire time, the bard just lay on the ground pretending to be dead. He was fine. He was at full health. But he just lay there pretending to be dead. Well, okay, my character's dead. It was a one-off, so I wasn't attached to him or cared, but, you know. He could have helped. But he literally avoided combat that entire session by just pretending to be a panic goblin and playing dead during the boss fight. Where one of his companions died. Ha! And it's clicked on during while we're playing this that, oh, this guy hates combat. Like, enough that he'll make it miserable so we don't want to do it. Yeah, so to know, I'm kind of on a fence thing right now. If the DM keeps acting particular ways, I might not be staying for very long. Because, like, we pay to go there. Like, we're paying money to go to these sessions. It's not like a group thing where it's free. No, we're going to a community center. We're paying money and stuff. And it's mostly just for booking the room, but it's like, you know, we're still paying for the thing to go there. And if we're not having a lot of fun, then, you know, what's the point? But yeah, but you had the option of you either pay like, it's like £5 a session, or you can pay like 20 quid for like a book, like block book, essentially, so you get like more than 4 sessions that way. I just did the block thing, so I'm like, yeah, no, I'll just keep going, because it's D&D, and I love getting to play D&D. I'm desperate at this point. Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna get paid until basically the end of this month. And then after that, the community center closes until December, because, like, it closes until, like, or it closes until the end of December till, like, January, till after New Year, because it just does for a few months, or for a month or something. I forget, I don't know. I don't know the exact dates or whatever, but, that's a thing that'll be happening. So, I'm like, I've paid till that point, I'll keep playing to that point and see how I feel. Basically, you know, the DM starts, like, you know, throwing us a bone here or there, to prove he's not just all horrible to us, because he's the type of DM that basically has decided if we make an action or try to do anything in his world, he will look for a way to punish us. And he actively does it. Like, if we do anything, he will look for, right, where's somewhere I can, like, take this and hurt them with it? Because he does it with every single thing. To the point where I've even called it and literally said, like, if I try and do this action, you're gonna do this. And but she didn't answer back, because you had caught out that, you know, this is kind of stuff he was thinking about. But yeah, it's hard to be creative and fun when everything you do has massive backlash to it and things. But yeah, if he continues this thing of, like, getting characters killed by throwing impossible bosses at us continuously and basically trying to make the like, I like doing roleplay and doing combat. Like, I like a balance of both, you know? So if he's going to try and make all the combat miserable, then is there any point in me going anymore? I don't know. We've got till the end of the month to find out. It's sort of a shame if I don't go back, in a sense, because there are, like, there's one player at the table that I'm, like, generally quite pally with, friendly with, da da da. Not, like, friendly with, but, like, you know, I get on with him. He's a funny guy. He's one of the more charismatic people at the table. He's also very new to the game, and thus, basically, if I say a bit of information, he'll listen to it, essentially, because he doesn't know anything. And he doesn't, you know, go nuts if I tell him things, because it's things he doesn't know, and he finds it helpful, and da da da. Which is always nice. But, yeah, he's generally quite nice. There's one other person, one of the older players is like a sorceress at the table. Like, okay, he's alright most of the time, but he also, like, you know, he'll side with the other older, like, longer playing player majority of the time when it comes to, like, plans and things like that. He doesn't really want to be adventurous with the ideas of, you know, experimenting with things until, like, basically, if I come up with a wild idea, the thought process becomes, well, yeah, but the DM's going to punish us for doing that. And I'm like, where's the fun if we don't try and do something a bit stupid and crazy when we're against a horde, like, against the horde, essentially. Let's set them on fire. To which they came up with, like, 50 ways of how that's going to hurt us. And I'm like, if we don't do it, we're not going to be able to kill them and they're going to overrun us. Because these things have got 22 health each and we're level 4 and 5s and stuff. And we can't take them out in one turn a piece. Like, there's going to be lots of them. We need the fire to take their health down. They were like, nah, because here's all the ways it can go wrong. What if a forest fire starts? Well, luckily I'm not a druid, and I don't really care about this area of land, because a giant monster just spawned in it. We're about to abandon it anyway, like... Oh, but yeah, there's a limit to it. Like, I enjoyed playing at the beginning, because I thought it was just all fun and things, but, like... At the bar. If the DM's going to punish you for everything little thing you do, it starts becoming less fun and more of a chore because you've got to overthink everything your move you're going to make, or you just got to deal with the backlash. And his continuous attempts to pretty much apply disabilities, like, you know, basically people having to take their limbs off and things like that, and the attempts to kill folk and stuff very quickly, like, at the bar. What's the point of playing long term if the DM's making an active attempt at killing you? Like, I can understand if we were making continuous stupid decisions, but we're not, like... That's the thing. And he's just pretty much ignoring simple logic in favor of making the game harder for us. AKA, like, the zombie being beside us, but us not getting a check to see if we notice. Or, specifically, like, the sorcerers that was next to him. They don't get a check to see if we see him stirring? No? It's been 15 minutes and we don't get to ask what we did during that time, if we tied them up or anything? No? Because we were definitely going to. We had plans to, like, keep the guy alive. / as a zombie. And essentially Nezuko him and carry him around. So we could try and cure him. Now he's dead without a head. We took the head off just for safety reasons because we don't have to deal with enough of a dick to, like, you know, bring him back again. And now we're carrying around separate parts like that, whereas the plan of we're going to revive him. That's became one of the mini missions, which I'm for. I think that's kind of cool. Like, we're trying to save our friend. But the DM tried to take another one or two of us with him. Like, I get that, but you could have given us, you know, an option to... You could have given us a save option and a perception check to see if we noticed, you know, the opportunity to tie him up during apparently the 15 minutes we were in a carriage. I mean, hell, it's not even over yet now I think about it. I'm saying all this as if we're finished with the zombies. Oh, we're not. We got to a bridge. And it's a bridge we actually had got... they spent about 3 to 4 months building it. I showed up and spent 2 to 3 sessions and we were finished by that point because I managed... I guess because I helped rail in the more chaotic players a bit. Keep them more focused on tasks, and we really just wanted to get it done. And I certainly did too, because it sounded very boring, the stuff they were going through, up until that point, like, just trying to get a bridge built. But, yeah, we get to this bridge, people are holding it up. Okay, that's an expected thing. People are holding it up, they want money for people to cross, they don't know about the zombies and stuff, so, like, they don't know how dangerous everything is. So we have options here of how we're going to try and get this stuff and da-da-da. And I'm thinking, well, this is going to hopefully lead to some type of combat-based event. Or something, like some type of conflict. Or, you know, we'll be able to convince them to help, blah, blah, blah. Now, it ends up being, basically, the bard does a pretty good charisma-based thing to, like, try and convince them. And the DM basically has them pack up and leave and walk away. And I'm like, oh, that was probably the most boring option you could have went for, but okay, then. So from there, they weren't just, like, taking over the bridge as if they were holding it and, like... saying, no, you can't cross with weapons. No, they literally tore out, like, a 30-foot chunk of it. Like, destroyed a 30-foot chunk of it. I don't question how they did it, but we don't worry about that, because there were, like, 13 of them, and there was, like, 6 of us. So it's like... Plus, the fighter that died was going to get a new character that was going to show up. Originally, I was like... part of my brain was like, maybe he's going to be one of the crew that was holding up the bridge. And I thought that'd be kind of funny. Because then he'd, like, you know, end up eventually siding with us for whatever reason. But no, he ended up just showing up later at the very tail end of the session. Up until that point, the guy sat there for like 2 hours with nothing to do, and I felt really bad for him. Because I'm like, it's not like we can hurry things up, and it was only like an hour and a half, probably an hour and a half of that 2 hours, where the DM basically turned and went, by the way, if you want it, you have to introduce your character yourself, just decide a moment at this point to make them come in. At this point, the zombies had hit the bridge, and they were trying to get to us, and we were trying to get the remaining people over. And effectively what we ended up doing was tossing the goblin monk to the other side. Him tying a rope over so people could, like, pull themselves over that way. But we also had, like, a kind of raft thing and some rope that we could, like, move people along with and da-da-da. And to stop the zombies progressing, we ended up taking out the part of the first chunk of the bridge. Between the hole that the bandits had made and the start, we took out some of the start bits so the zombies couldn't go over. So... all the people were now trapped, like 80, I think, people left. Of, like, 300, we ended up moving, like, 200 of them through the... That's gonna be a high level. There's no way I'll kill this, but I'll give it a go. We ended up moving, like, 40 people ago by making this giant raft, and spent a lot of time doing that, that's all well and good. We're saving people, heroic and stuff, and we get all the people on this bit of the bridge. Zombies can't get to it, we're safe. We're basically done. No, we're no. Oh, the DM then says, by law probability... There's still a beam left for the understructure of the bridge, leading up to the bit you're at. Eventually, one of them's going to walk in a straight line and make it over. And I'm like, I don't know how true that statement is, because zombies are very not dexterous and they don't walk in straight lines, so I find that very hard to believe. But whatever, he decided it was making over. One of the people, I was not on the bridge at this point. There were half the team was on the bridge, half of them was pulling the raft. Okay. The two people on the bridge were the sorceress and the bard in our team, along with the new fighter that just arrived from the dead player. They were on the bridge with 80 odd civilians. Cool. What does this lead to? It leads to one zombie making it over, biting people, and by the time anyone noticed, about 10 zombies had already appeared in the bridge, and were spreading fast. So now, that's how the session ended, with like, the zombies spreading throughout those people, and half our team over there. And it's like, yeah, if any one of them get bit, they're dead. Like, it's not ifs or buts, they are dead. Like, oh, there's quite a few people could still end up dead by the end of this. And what makes matters a little bit worse is the fact that the fighter who had just died, and has now just came back, his last move of the thing was to charge in and attack them. I'm like, he's dead for next session. Like, he's gonna make another new character. Ah, the bar. But yeah, no, the session of the zombies that isn't over. So, holy feck, I actually beat the Venusaur. Catch it! Maybe? Oh! Oh! Well, I'll be damned. I got a Venusaur. Oh, it's got Dynamax level. Not got moves that I like, but whatever. It's got attack boosting, speed lowering nature. Not what I would have picked for him, but whatever. It's there now, and that's a pretty good catch. Bloody hell, Togekiss is powerful. Forget how powerful Togekiss is. Then it goes into stuff like that. Brilliant. But yeah, anyway, point being, like, the tail end of that was, like, it was partially boring, partially interesting, because, like, it was mostly, I thought we were going to get a fight or something. I thought we were going to do something with the people in the bridge, and no, they just end up leaving. And it's just us scrambling to move civilians over before the zombies get there. So it ended up kind of getting interesting by the end, because we actually started doing something. But for the first part, it's like, they start lighting the bridge on fire, and we've got to figure out how to get off. But we don't really have any way of getting over. Like, we had to basically improvise throwing the monk over. Kind of, because it was a goblin, we had a barbarian. There's I'm more just sitting thinking, how many more of us is going to die by the end of this? It's not going to be me anyway. I'm nowhere near the zombies at this point. But yeah, no, the DM basically just looks for any way to make things harder and potentially get everyone killed, which I can understand that for an extent. But, like, you know, then there's you introducing an insta-kill zombie that I can't cure because I'm not level 5. And then having, you know, them overwhelm people and get near the players a lot. And despite our best efforts, not making any bad decisions. Yeah, I'm just going full on D&D rant at this point. I don't know. If people don't make me talk about D&D stuff, I'll just talk about D&D stuff. It's one of those ones. But yeah, I'm just on the thing now of like, it's worth going back because the DM is pretty against us just having fun in general without us risking our character getting killed very quickly in the process. Like, there's a balance to these things, and kind of going against that balance in my mind. But yeah, like, the first while is having fun with people, but, you know, now it's just gotten to this whole, like, we're fighting against the zombies, which I thought was going to be quite fun, but it's just the way he has them operate isn't very fun. So, it's one of those ones now. Now I'm just sort of like, are we going to now get an interesting plot hook to keep us going, or, like, what is next? Because I don't know, like, that really debates of, well, like, basically why go back next year to them. That really depends on what the DM has to offer before that point, because I could really go either way right now, just because of how everything's been going, how he's been acting, how he wants to make the game hard, but he's trying to make it hard where people are dying a lot, even if they make the best possible decisions, which I'm not okay with that. Like, I can understand if it was combat related and you're dying, but we're not dying through combat, they're dying through, like, basically set bits that he's creating. Like, insta-kill zombies that you can't, you know, you can't stop, don't get any saves against, and da-da-da. I don't know, last time I did the whole, like, ranting thing, I got quite a few interesting thoughts, back on how, like, basically, like, I was partly worried, like, is it just me? Am I the one overthinking this and thinking it's too mean? No, a lot of people seem to agree with me on the thought process with the DM. It's like, obviously, I'm not explaining everything in, like, full detail. I'm giving, like, a more summarized version, because we've done a lot of stuff and da-da-da, but just to give you a frame of mind of what kind of DM I'm operating with. It doesn't like PvP. It clearly doesn't put a lot of thought. Like, it'll introduce basically really strong characters without putting too much thought into the balance of them, because he doesn't care. And yeah, like, generally it'll try and make it more fixed events happening rather than actual PvP. You know, like a zombie waking up in the back of one of our carriages but not giving us any chance to save our guns to, and that zombie getting a free attack. It's like, can I even mention this? I'm like, wait, like, if you just woke up in it, surely you wouldn't just get attacked straight away. No, he gets attacked straight away. Like, really? Like, there's only so much I can argue with them about it. Or the shield thing, that was one that got me. Him mentioning, basically, when he gave the instruction for everyone to close their eyes and basically vote on whether they think the character or the fighter would still have a shield. But it's like, it doesn't matter what we think he would have. He fell unconscious and we picked him up. He wouldn't have his shield. Like, that's not up for debate. It clattered on the ground and we didn't take it. Like, we didn't have his sword. He made mention that because one of the other people wanted to take it. But, yeah, no, he's got his shield strapped on. He didn't use an action to do that, and you would make him use an action to do that. The feck. And then you get, like, the older player trying to argue with me that, you know, it's the DM's game, it's up to him what he wants to do, and it's like, yeah, but there's a certain level of logic here. If we can logic things, then why does he get to just do whatever he wants? Like, at that point, what's the point of us paying attention then? If the DM's just gonna punish us whatever way he sees fit. But yeah, that was why I got a telling off for that one, because he told us to close our eyes, and as soon as I'm like, he basically said that we're voting about it, I'm like, wait, but why would a vote mattered when there's logic here? And he's like, hey, I said to shut your eyes, and I'm like, I don't care, like, the fighter fell unconscious, he couldn't have his shield. To which he's like, can you follow instructions? And I'm like, no. Like, there's a level of I will follow instructions if told to, but there's also a level of you need to be willing to listen to logic here because you punish us for fecking everything, and now you're deciding that, you know, we're not like, oh, he has a shield. Because, you know, it makes it harder, like... Yeah, I'm not really buying that one, because let's be honest, if he just fell unconscious normal and we hadn't managed to pick his shield up, he wouldn't have let us have his shield after. We absolutely would have left it behind if he wasn't turning into a zombie. But because it's a zombie, it made the zombie fight harder. Oh no, he's definitely got a shield. Oh. Is this what Pixelmon's going to be from now? Is it going to be the C-series where I just rant about D&D? Very possibly. Like, my first episode after Monday very possibly could be, because I have a lot of things I want to say. I can't exactly complain to that group as much about that stuff. Like, I try and voice some things, but, you know, it's why it's trying to find a balance of stuff. It's like, I pay attention to these details. I remember stuff to the point where I'm correcting people at the table that are misremembering things. And, like, if I was wrong about it, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't mention it as much. But it's like, I'm never... At this point, I don't think I've ever been wrong about one of the things I brought up. That's not me trying to be big hair or anything. It's just that I remember little details because I listen about the game. I, you know, remember this stuff. I take a mental note of a lot of things about where a situation's at and who's got what things, and basically as I figured out how the DM rules things, I basically try and figure out how much detail I need to pay attention to every situation, like mentioning the fact if we're lifting something or not, because we will get punished for it, and thus I make mental notes of the things we do and don't do. God damn it, not one of those coughings could give me a bloody smoke ball. I don't see any skunkies. I'm just trying to get a smoke ball at this point. I just want items I can run away from wild Pokemon that try to jump me. Please, game. Give me the item. He doesn't want to give me the item. Got to pull out. Possibly. Might be able to take you. I doubt it. Try it though. Level 71. Yep, I'm fecked. Oh yeah, he's using Nightshade. I am well and truly fecked. One plus it is he's quite slow, so I have that one advantage, I suppose. Oh, I just wanted to fit him as Magius. I just wanted to fit him as Magius. Oh dear. I think she is only technique. I might really get around this, but I doubt it. Night Slash. Maybe we'll just... Oh, that'll just kill him. Okay, never mind. Well, in brighter news, aside from the whole D&D stuff happening in the community center, which aren't this one of those ones, it's like you have a laugh here and there, but then it's like dealing with certain people in the group and that, and clashing heads and that, and then the DM having his own agenda kind of thing, but it really does feel more like he's just kind of got his world, his story kind of set, and we're just like taking part in it. It's not like... It's, it's like we're there for his amusement more than, you know, our own amusement as well. Like, it's supposed to be a joint experience where everyone gets that fun, and he seems somewhere out to have his own sinister fun about us getting killed. Which I'm not as cool with, because there's a risk of dying in it, fair. Like, that's fine, the world being, like, having a set rule in that, but then there's him intentionally just not letting us do checks and stuff, just to make it so there's a real chance of dying. I don't know. But the plus say, yeah, from it all, I have now taken more serious steps towards figuring out D&D, like Roll20 and stuff. So I could just try and make my own one. Like, I've never DM'd before, but I reckon at this point I might have more fun just giving it a go than doing community center thing. Again, got a couple of weeks to find out. Might only be there for a couple more sessions. I might just not go back after a year, because like, I've paid to that point. So I'll bloody go to it. But, you know, after that point, there's nothing keeping me there. For not getting an interesting story going on where everyone's like, you know, the group's working together and stuff, then what's the point? There's a lot of problems. See how it goes. And that was the thing I've realized as well. The group's had a lot of deaths at this point, which I mentioned before. And some of it's been due to stupid stuff, and then other things it's been like combat-based things. Something I've learned is the fact that basically if someone goes down in combat, they don't seem to be in any rush to pick that person back up. Like, the group is not a functioning group. I'm trying to get it into a functioning group by trying to get everyone more involved, talk to each other, and basically make more group-based decisions rather than just following one person's lead, aka the bards of the group. The older, experienced player who basically wants everything to be his way. At this point, he's got a secret letter that he learned about. We watched him read it, and he won't tell us what was in it. And now at the end of this, he's like, yeah, so after the zombies, I need to go to this town because I've got a letter to deliver. And I'm like, you're going to fill us in the details and that? Like, why would we want to go there if you're not going to tell us? So I'll be butting heads with them in future days, I'm sure, because I'm sure he won't just willingly tell us. So I'll have to grind information out of him. But, yeah, yeah, that was the thing. When my rogue died in that one-off, there were several other players there, other than just the bard, like, normally the DM, but him playing a bard, pretending to be dead. And it's like, yeah, no, basically what I've learned is pretty much, they don't really, like, get people up. It's more a thing of they do their death saves, which, to note, the DM's the one doing the death saves. So it's like, that's its own thing. And either the person will stabilize or they end combat and finish the battle before the person dies, and then they'll heal them. That's how a lot of people have ended up dead. Is basically this group just doesn't function as a group because they are that scared of what the DM's going to do and everything being brutal that they look out for themselves above everyone else. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be helping the situation. Like, you need to be working together. Like, up until this point, they've not had a cleric. They had one cleric at one point, but it was a cleric of a new player who basically didn't know how to put stats in correctly, and he didn't invest in wisdom, like, at all. So he ended up with a cleric with, like, it was either a 10 in wisdom or, like, a negative wisdom score. Like, it was such a bad wisdom where, like, they were terrible at healing. And then there was no other clerics since then. So I'm the only one that's actually came and been a cleric, and I'm now doing stuff to, like, try and work together, help them, keep them fresh and things. Only for the DM after I come in as a cleric to then announce, actually we'll be counting negative health and that'll be getting maintained while you're unconscious. Oh joy, when someone goes to negative 40 health later on, I'm not going to be able to get them up in one go. I'm going to have to spend multiple rounds healing them. At which point I would be better just not healing them and just, you know, fighting at that point. Oh, the bar. So I'm going to have to, like, buy as the DM to maybe change that rule because that's not good. That's very unbalanced rule that's going to get us all killed because, of course it bloody is. It's negative health being kept in track when you fall unconscious. The whole balance of D&D is pretty much people fall unconscious, but you can pick them back up by using healing spells, which you have a limited number of slots of, or you got a limited number of healing potions for. So I'm just gonna have to wait and see if he decides to, like, go with that one. Like, I've seen another suggestion, I've seen another thing online of a better idea for if you want to make death mean something, is rather than having the health go into negative or something ridiculous like that, give the person a point of exhaustion if they fall down. That way, if they fall down too many times in one battle, they will actually die. But also, you know, you'll get weaker and weaker if you keep getting picked up. That'll give people a reason to keep your health maintained above a certain level. That to me seems smarter than count negative health. Because that's just making healing a chore. Which, it was a rule they never put in place until they realized, oh, we've actually got a proper healer. And as soon as I healed the fighter, which I'm guessing that must have been the first time somebody bloody healed someone in an active combat situation, because as soon as that happened, and the negative health was mentioned, he's like, yeah, I hate that rule. I'm going to change that rule. And he did it right in front of us. And yeah, as you may have noticed, I can rant on about this a lot, because I have a lot of things to think about, and I've clashed with them a little bit over it. Like, not as much as what I probably should. I probably should be arguing with them more to try and make points across, but I don't want to sit and spend the entire time arguing in a bad mood and Like, I want to be there and have fun with people, and, like, it is the DM's game, so, you know, if he wants to make the game hard, that's fair enough. But, you know, there is a balance to it. It also needs to be fun for the players. You can't really have fun if you're constantly dying. Like, I don't know. The insta-kill zombies just put massive alarm bells in my head, and since that's happened, I've just been thinking about everything that's happened up until this point. And then I'm reevaluating what I think of him as a DM. It went from, oh, he's a DM that likes things being hard, to, oh, he just enjoys killing us. Because they didn't even get a save for that, and I'm starting to see why they literally have a book filled with who's dead. So getting this out in the comments. If people don't want me ranting with D&D in this, well, just let us know in the comments. I mean, if people are enjoying me telling these stories and ranting, go for it. I'll continue doing it quite happily. I enjoy a good rant. To play, especially with D&D. I'm having fun, like, with the idea of D&D. I have the fun with the idea of planning and things like that. It's just the actual application. I've got to fight with another player to get anything through because he is older and thus we should be listening to him apparently, and blah blah blah. Now we have a psychotic DM that wants us basically to die. But yeah, now I'm gonna have to like get Demon and the likes to like come online and like we'll try and get, what's Sweet Kiss do? Does that confuse people or make people like, ah, doesn't matter, we're now dead, run! Couldn't escape, Eevee, let me run. I want to die to this thing. Oh, I need to set up a healer in one of these bloody towers so I can train here properly. I want a thingy ball to get away, but never mind. I want to evolve this Eevee into something. Let us know in the comments which Eevee I should get. But yeah, my plan for learning D&D at this point is pretty much grab Demon, and I've learned some of the fundamental bits of Rogue 20 and other. I just want to see what it's like if you've got a DM and you're a player. So basically I want to have Demon come on as like a practice, a little minigame thing, and like try and figure out how the mechanics goes. How does battle work? How does initiative rolling work? How does everything work? I want to practice. I want to play this. I actually want to give this a try. I want to try playing D&D with folk. I'm that desperate at this point that I'm literally like, yeah, I'm just going to have to become the DM. Fine. I'll do it. Just let me play, please. More importantly, let me play an anime-based one that can be fun. Because that was another thing about the group. Like, some of them are younger folk. Like, there's 2 of them that are under 18. I know that. A.k.a. they're, like, in school and stuff. But, like, and their parents dropped them off and did that. That's all well and fine. But other than, like, some of the younger folk, like, nobody really knows anything about anime and things. And they're like, okay. They're into, like, nerdy stuff, though. You know, like, or, like, quote-unquote nerdy stuff. Like, you know, the kind of things that if you were talking about someone, a nerdy thing or something like that, you would assume that. Like, Lord of the Rings and stuff. Like, stuff I'm also into. So I'm not, like, completely out of my element speaking to them. But the DM had the nerve to rag at me over my backpack. He had a backpack that carried some things in to come with it. And it was a One Punch Man backpack that I got years ago. And he had a go at me for that. To which I then went, well, I've also got this, I had another bag, because I had even more stuff, because I take a bunch of the books now with me, just so I've got them on hand. I had a Pokemon themed one, and he just sort of rolled his eyes, and, like, basically, it was like, kind of like he's basically making fun of me a moment. And it's like, really? You're gonna have a go at me for anime stuff? Really? Like, yeah, they're not the nice, like, a bunch of them aren't the nice people. I said one of them's really cool. Like, one of them's chill, one of them's just there for a good time. Yeah, that's about the only one, though. Like, they're not always the nicest of people. Okay, they'll quite happily have a go at you and blah, 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 blah. Or at least some of them will. Particularly the older folk. They're like adults and blah, blah, blah. They'll have a go at folk for random things, and they'll go with jokes that, you know, at some points it's like you can think humorous, but at some other points it's like, are you just trying to be cruel? Or like, I don't know. I'm at that point where I can only take what I can get for D&D. And thus I'm now very quickly making moves towards, yeah, I'd rather do something just fun and maybe more anime themed. Because that's way more in my element, where I can just chillax and have fun with people and really, you know, go all out. Oh god, because I'm just sitting here ranting, I'm like running in random directions. Yeah, I'm just hitting random, I'm just going into random stuff. Fucking hell, right? Okay, I need to actually focus on where I'm going and things. But, yeah, I guess every week I'll probably come ranting about whatever random stuff happens in D&D. Hopefully I can come ranting with some fun stories of, like, cool things we did. And did that. Because, like, I don't think it's a cool idea we're fighting against this zombie horde. In a sense. Like, sure, the DM's making it a miserable time because nothing we do seems to really matter to them. But, you know, we're saving people and then hopefully at the end of it he gives us a level up or something. I don't know. That would be nice. Technically have killed hundreds of them with our plans. Oh, kill Power Bracer. But yeah, once we're done with all that, hopefully the next plot thing is interesting. We can unite more as a group and actually have some fun stories to bring back rather than just miserable ones where everyone's dying all the time. And everything's just being made super hard and tedious, and every single decision we made is being met with consequences of, like, yes, but this is went wrong. Because if something can go wrong, it is going wrong. Like, that's pretty much the DM's thing. Like, the greatest example of it being, I throw a torch into a hole where the fighter's lying unconscious, but he's 30 foot down and I want to heal him. And the DM's answer to that is, well, the fighter is now on fire. Because you threw a torch at him and lit him on fire. And I'm like, did I get a roll to, like, fucking see if that happened? No roll. He's just hitting on fire. Oh, cool. Actions have consequences, sure, but I, like... it's just if you do an action, there's going to be a negative consequence. There's a limit to how often I can take that and think, yeah, that's fun. To be fair, setting him on fire did lead to, like, a hectic, like, 40 minutes of me trying to save his life, which sounded cool on paper, but it's also where the dreaded negative HP rule came into play after I healed him the first time. And, yeah, then, you know, the DM basically decided if you want to put yourself out of fire, you're going to have to logically think of a way to put yourself on fire. You can't just stop, drop, and roll because you'll hurt yourself crawling about on the sharp bits in the ground and blah, 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 blah. Whole bunch of stuff like that. To be fair, like, that seemed like an interesting story to tell in a sense. But on the other hand, it's like the fighter nearly died. To be fair, he ended up dead a couple of sessions later due to zombies, but, you know, ended up with that. To which, I think it came out about the end of that, was he was now horribly burnt. Now, to point out, he was only on fire for less than a minute. But yeah, after that torch hit him, within that 6 seconds, the fire then engulfed his entire body, apparently. And he was on fire for less than a minute, but he's horribly burnt. His luscious hair is gone, replaced with a scabby, filled, horribly burned head and things, and blah, blah, blah. Basically, he actually got a debuff from that, where it actually had an effect, it would have an effect on things, because he had that. And yeah, this game is very much in the idea of, you can lose limbs and get disability, basically, disability kind of things applied onto you, if the right circumstances come about. Which is pretty much as good as dying in that game, because it's not going to make life easy for you, and, you know, now you're going to have to do it at a disadvantage in some way. On top of that, I did check, could I use my healing magic to heal his horrible wounds? No. To which the DM quite happily, quite jollily answered, no, there's nothing like that in this game. Just count yourselves lucky you get a full heal and a long rest. I'm like, bloody hell. Alright, I'm now running around the forest hoping to find Eevee, and I've now been recording for a really long time, because ranting and whatnot, I enjoy it. But yeah, I need to figure out what I'm going to turn this Eevee into. I've now got an Eevee, so that's cool, so I can show that to Rin, Aaron, and Arcanus, who all also have Eevees. I'm now part of that cool club. And I can figure out what we're going to evolve it into and whatnot. But yeah, I live near this area, so hopefully I can find a few more and get a full... I would like to get a full evolution team. I always enjoy getting a full evolution team. But yeah, I think for now, though, gonna end things there. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the ranting. Yeah, I'll see you next week for more D&D ranting. I hope I'll see you some point in the next coming days where I can be recording with other people and playing this game. Here's hoping. But yeah, again, let us know in the comments if you don't want me to be ranting with D&D as much. Then I'll just stop, I guess. I don't know. If you're into hearing about the random, in this case, horror stories, I wouldn't say it's as bad as a horror story, but it's like, yeah, no, there's definitely negatives I'm taking away from this. And as the DM does stuff, I'm realizing more and more of his habits and the way he likes to play things. It's all piling up, and it's making me realize stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But in the plus side, it has inspired me to try taking up playing D&D with others quicker, because I want to keep playing D&D, but I'd rather play it with people that are just more based on fun rather than, you know, making the game as hard and horrible as possible. But yeah, anyway, thank you all very much for watching. See you all next time for whatever we got up to next in Pixelmon. Go! Bye, everybody! Also, just want to say a quick thank you to all of the channel members for the extra support, and a special thank you and shout out to our late members, the Johnny members Sebastian Ramsey, Alexander01, and Isaac Washington, and our ANBU member MonsterQ. Thank you all very much for the extra awesome support.